Sorry for the late video. I think it's been 4 days since I uploaded, which isn't really the best. And I'll be combining 3 workouts in this video anyway, so, just trying to get through my videos, especially when I'm more busy now. So I have to, think about when I'm uploading and stuff. If it's 3 videos, if it's 2 videos, it depends. But when it comes to the subject of today's video, I just want to go over it because I do find a lot of people, get confused on what's an actual obtainable physique and stuff like that. And the confusion comes from like all the people that claim natural, like Julian Fitzgerald or Hussein Farhat or any other celebrity, like Rock or whatever. But in my personal opinion, it doesn't really matter if these guys are natural. All that matters is your own journey. Because if you're being completely honest with yourself, you're not like Julian Fitzgerald, or you're not like The Rock. You're not. Even with steroids, you might not even look as good as these people. But my message really is to focus on your own journey. You can like these fitness influencers and take inspiration from them, but I won't obsess over them because these guys are not gods by any means. And if they did it in such a scummy way, then they're a dickhead. That's all I think of. Because many of these people who claim natural and clearly are not, like Simeon Panda, I think Michael Hearn just does it for a joke at this point. I don't think Julian's natural, primarily because of that gut and his biceps. The gut's probably the worst one because his gut's literally protruding. And if you've ever seen like Julian's progression photos, you can tell when he starts to get a bit of a bubble gut. But anyway, less of what I think about Julian or whatever. No amount of drugs will make you look like these people because you have different genetics, you have different goals in mind. Because I believe in life, the whole point of it is to be the best you. Because I could compare myself to Nonso Chinye, which is he's a British powerlifter, and he lifts like 415 kilo. Bro's 6'2", 120 kilo. So that's like 25 kilos more than me. So literally an inch taller, a lot bigger, and yeah. If I were to compare myself to him, it's kind of like a losing battle. And it's kind of like if you compare yourself to David Lade, you're basically a losing battle. But the best thing for you is to really, focus on yourself. Like, I think I'm doing quite well in terms of strength at the moment. I think I'm doing quite well in terms of physique. I will be doing a cut soon, but that'll be only for me. I do these videos a bit for me and, a bit for other people. Because I do find in this industry, the fitness space, there's a lot of, idiots and, people who lie and, people who just do it for money. These videos get me no views. These videos get me literally no money. So I'm doing this completely for free. And I do it because, it might reach someone that might have a problem that I was facing, because I believe sometimes I do get a bit of, body dysmorphia, but that's because I'm looking at myself and I think I looked way better at some other point. But yet again, that's my own issue, and I do my best to, counteract that issue and, try my best to push past that, mental barrier that will be there. Because regardless of what anyone thinks, I think I've done quite a good job on, getting more muscle, feeling better about myself. Like, when I was skinny, I hated my life, I was really self-elitist, if you know what I mean. And now I'm more positive, and now I'm more, I feel like myself. I don't feel like I'm encaged in the self-pity and stuff like that. anymore. And that's my journey. And I feel like I've accomplished a lot because of how my journey's, gone. I've almost done this whole fitness thing for like 3 years now, like proper fitness. Before I did like a bunch of kickboxing shit and then just like, tried to be more of an active fighter. Now I've turned more into different sports and, I love each and every one of the sports that I do, But when it comes to my own journey, I focus on my own goals and I don't focus on if Julian is natural, because I can have my own opinion on him. I don't think he's natural. I think he's a scummy idiot. A bit like Hussein, but I think Hussein's natural in a way. And if he isn't, then he's a dick, And these coaches of coaches and a bunch of rubbish. I mean, I've seen someone that has the most atrocious haircut to beard ratio. Like such wet hair and such dry beard. It looks shite. And to call him a fitness influencer is like an insult. This guy, I'd say has the potential, but apparently he did roids and stuff to get that physique, and it's like, yeah, I don't think you have much to say. And also he's a bit of a faker anyway, because he rents his apartment. But all these people who flex on social media and try and make you feel bad about yourself, your journey is your journey. I couldn't give less of a shit what other people are doing in this world. I just think they're a dick or they're an okay person. That's simply my goal. And currently my goal is to survive at the moment and, get enough money so I can start other things. And that's my own journey. You could probably just want to chill and, go to the gym, play games, and that's okay. If you have enough, if that's your life goal, you need to go towards it. Because there's nothing worse than going, shit, I could have done my life goal if I actually put my life, my life, my mind, everything to it. And that's what I'm trying here. I'm trying to, put myself out there because I wouldn't say I'm the most confident of people, but I'd definitely say this helps, puts my personality out there. And yeah, really, this is more of like a raw, unedited videos because I don't want to come off as fake, because I don't think of myself as a fake person, because I have nothing to hide. I simply just have nothing to hide. I've done all my journey naturally. I've built up strength. I've had injuries. And I'm just a kid from the north of England. Well, not a kid anymore. I'm nearly 20. But I'm just a guy from north of England that's trying to, put a positive message into the, fitness space, because so many of these mog and, rubbish and just childish shit that I see. Because these people who say they mog people and all this rubbish are childish. Let's be honest. They have shrunken, genitalia. They think they're top shit, but they're just trying to compensate for something. Let's be honest. And really, if you don't do it for a joke, that is, kind of thing. Pretty much all I have to say about the current fitness industry. It's not really fitness, in my opinion. It's a bunch of idiots saying, buy my course now, buy my course, when they have no fucking qualifications, let's be honest. And but anyway, we'll get straight into chest and arms, and then do leg day, and then do upper body day. So we'll get straight into that, and I'll see you in the gym. So starting off the chest and arm day, if you want to call it that, with some tempo bench. This just allows me to focus on my leg drive. After all, it's probably my weakest part of my bench. And you wouldn't think it, but a lot of bench press is very technical, and you have to be very it's not like deadlift where you can just like rip off the floor kind of thing, but you have more things to think about on a bench press than you do with a squat or deadlift, in my opinion, because you tend to find a lot of things can go wrong, like your hand position, your leg drive, your arch or whatever, which you can see I'm using a belt, but as I've explained in many videos, that the belt's mainly so I don't hyperextend and I keep my butt on the bench. So it just keeps it there, gets rid of something that I need to think about. And yeah, it just takes away that little bit that I need to think about. Therefore I can focus on other things like my leg drive, which is more important, because either way I'll be using a belt when I get up to like 180 or 220 kind of like ranges. Those are kind of like my goals with bench press. I want to get up to those kind of freaky numbers. So yeah, hopefully in my lifetime and in a couple of years or like 10, I'm not really bothered when. As long as I get it, that's all part of my journey. Couldn't give a shit about anything else. But anyway, incline, just a bit less, because this is technically a deload, half deload week, because in my last video I maxed out. And yeah, initially this is just to reduce any fatigue that I may have. Like, when it comes to maxing out, your body needs to recover, hence why this half week and then the week after, which is week 1 of the 1 rep bit, I'll be doing like lesser weights. I will still be going hard, but it's like I won't be lifting as heavy, just so my body can recover and get back to normal really. But anyway, got skull crushers. I'll be moving these to Monday, hence the first kind of day in the week that I do. Primarily because I'll be training in the mornings, because I have work and stuff in the afternoons now. So, and hopefully on Mondays I have more chance of one of my friends being able to spot me, because there's nothing really to help you on skull crushers. I hate getting it up, not in that way, but like, I hate trying to like clean and jerk it up and then just trying to sit down with it. I find it more effective if someone's there and I can just like go to failure, and if I do go to failure they can help me, which 50 kilos is looking very good, I can definitely say that. And yeah, definitely will be moving on to 55, trying to make that stronger, because I do find with stronger triceps my bench does become a lot better. And hopefully of these past coming years I'll be able to achieve the 60 kilo, 70 kilo skull crusher, which will be very, very happy. I'll be very happy if I ever get those for reps. So it's all about getting stronger, bigger and better in this series. So what can I say? It's the fucking tile. And yeah, and also it grows your triceps in a way, like it's contributing to that stimulus of the lateral head and all that kind of shit. Because usually I don't do overhead tricep movements unless it's skull crushers, primarily because they're awkward, and there's way better exercises to do other than that. So hence why I do skull crushers and then tricep extensions and tricep push downs if I ever do anything tricep related. But anyway, onto side delts, which you can see I'm only using one cable, which isn't usually what I'd go for, but I had to make the sacrifice on this day because it was very busy. And I suppose that comes in where you have to push yourself as well. Like, what I mean by that is, when it comes to your gym being busy or whatever, you need to find a replacement, otherwise you're just going to waste time. And I don't like wasting time. Time's very valuable, especially when you're nearly 20. You get to unk status and you feel like you're basically halfway to 40. So yeah, I'm gonna try and not waste as much time as some people, but when it comes to like compounds, then I can't really do anything. I have to wait for them, but usually I get on them anyway in nick of time. Just like exercises like this, I can just find other replacement, and yeah, That's all it really needs to be done, because when it comes to shoulders, I'm fairly okay anyway. You know, I think my shoulders are very dominant in my physique, so just doing a single arm ain't really gonna affect the gains so much. And also, I don't use a fucking cuff because I'm not a weirdo. I actually have grip strength, because all these people saying it's actually better for your side delt. I don't care. I find way more tension if I'm holding it, and I find that all these people who do heavy cuff Lao raises don't really have big shoulders. If you have a good look at their physique, they don't have good shoulders, which I'll say this, I think mine are 10 times better. But anyway, just doing some hammer curls, you know, trying to thicken the bicep and brachialis muscles. Basically, I'll be moving to reverse grip curls, because I find they do your brachialis more, because a week's passed since I've done these workouts, and I found, well, actually, you know, doing some, you know, reverse grip curls actually does work. And I do need to work on my forearms a bit, and but it all comes with time, and hopefully with that time comes more gains and more muscle on the frame, and yeah, and more strength. What can I say? I need strength and muscle, because there's no point on looking strong, and there's no point on being strong without looking strong. Let's be honest, you want to be both, because all this toxicity on I'd rather look aesthetic, I'd rather look strong, I'd rather be strong, blah blah blah. Just be both. Just be both, man. I'm aiming for both. I'm aiming to be the best version of myself, and that involves getting bigger muscles, and being strong as shit. Let's be honest. You'd rather have both if you had the option. But these guys who complain about that and, you know, try and flex that they have, oh, I have a physique, oh, I have strength, they basically have neither. But anyway, pause squats, as I've, you know, just rambled on for a bit. Pause squats, you know, just casual, regular stuff. I will be going up weights soon. I've just only done this because I was like, I want to save myself, because I've just done a max out. So essentially I'll be going up anyway, and there'll be 1 reps next, so that will be fun. And yeah, get to see how much I can do for 1 rep, and hopefully it's quite an impressive load. Pause on that. But anyway, yeah, it's looking to be quite good for squats. I mean, pause squats are feeling pretty easy at this point, so we'll be up in the weights, and as well as the RDLs, like up in the weights on the RDLs, because they're getting quite decent. I mean, these are all like adding on to you know, the end result, which is to lift more but also build more muscle, because in a way my squat does involve my quads. It, of course, like, it involves your whole body, a squat, but I don't find it involves a lot of my quads in comparison to other muscles like my hamstrings, my glutes, my, you know, stuff. But that hence why, like, I do you know, leg press the way I do. You know, I'm trying to build more muscle on my quads and stuff, and then with hamstrings it's like doing my RDLs as usual, you know, 5 reps, 3 sets, but there's not 3 there. But yeah, it just shows that, you know, I'm trying to push myself and trying to, you know, gain some more muscle, as well as here. Like, you know, I'm doing Bulgarians on a Smith machine, and I find they give more stimulus on a Smith machine, because you're not like so worried about, you know, your stability and stuff. But I do find it way better on a Smith machine. I mean, you know, it feels better, and, you know, I can get deeper, and in a way the going up is a lot harder than going down on a Smith machine. And you know, I personally love it, you know. But still keep the plate underneath my feet, and also, you know, just try and stretch out my hip flexors, which of course helps a whole lot when it comes to my hip flexor health and stuff like that, because I had a hip flexor injury not too long ago, and it's always great that you keep, you know, that said, you know, like muscle tendons healthy in order for you to lift more and gain more muscle, and therefore, you know, more happiness really. But yeah, I'm just trying to like focus on getting my legs bigger as well, because what I find is when I'm pumped up and, you know, stuff like that, my legs kind of, they're okay but not like, you know, freaky. But when I get home and I'm deflated and stuff, my legs are a lot bigger than my upper body. But it's a mismatch. But, you know, I would rather, you know, get my legs a bit stronger and, you know, a bit bigger as well, because I don't know why, but I get flamed for my legs. Like, they don't show well on video, but, you know, I think they're getting there, and I think they're, you know, getting bigger and stronger. So that's all I really gotta say for quads, really. Doing some leg press, single leg to double leg, you know, kind of thing. But when it comes to quads in general, I'm not really you know, a master at them, but you know, I'm just trying to like grow my physique as usual, and, you know, build on there. Like doing some leg press like this might help, because I do find it does the teardrop muscle, or whatever the fuck it's called. And I do find when it comes to, you know, the side of your quad, the muscle on the side, I do find the single leg does help with that, and then the double leg does the little teardrop thing. And yeah, that it just like does it in 2-in-1, because you gotta hit your muscles at different angles, because you have different muscles in a group. Like you have 3 muscles in the hamstring which are stimulated by different things, because your hamstrings have different purposes. You know, it's muscle what is it? Muscle biomechanics. Can be very strange. But when it comes to building muscle, you know, all you have to do is try, you know, your best. Don't fatigue yourself too much. Oh, I wouldn't say too much. Like you need to of course feel it, but some people like to say that the longer you rest, the better your sets will be, which is true. Like the longer you rest, kind of stuff. And that's what I'm kind of trying to do with legs, because I tend to kind of rush legs and rush my upper body stuff, because I'm very conscious of time, like I said, and yeah, I just kind of rush things, and, you know, I'm trying not to do that anymore. But yeah, trying to go with the flow. But anyway, hamstring curls. Sorry for waffling on for so long, but it's needed because I can't really speak in my gym. Like, you know, I can't talk while doing the workout. I like doing my workout to pure intensity and not get distracted by talking to a camera. As well as, you know, it's kind of awkward because it's more of a commercial gym than anything. And I don't really, it's just mainly to do with I want to lock in, not more of a, you know, this commercial gym, therefore I'm a bit awkward. But hence why I'm just like explaining what I'm doing here. Like, you know, I'm just doing hamstring curls to get in the, you know, shorn position, as I've got, like, you know, RDLs in the lengthened position, which makes your hamstrings grow and look cool. So that's all I can really say. You know, if I were to do it like Sam, you know, just talking to the camera and, you know, just be like kind of like that, I wouldn't really have time to, you know, review my you know, performance, which is also a benefit to doing these videos. I'm reviewing what I'm doing and how much I am doing, you know, because it's always great to keep track of that and, you know, essentially push yourself as well for the next session. But anyway, we're on to the rectus femoris muscle, aka some leg extensions, which is you know, the rectus femoris is the knee extension muscle in the quad, so it just extends your knee. So yeah, when it comes to legs, these are essential, of course, because when you are doing some you know, I believe it's like the only thing you can do for like knee extension, because yeah, it does get stimulated during squats and stuff like that, but it really does come out and, you know, bulge out when you hit with some, you know, leg extensions and stuff like that. And yeah, I find it very good, especially after, you know, leg press. But you know, I have to switch it around every time because people are on certain machines and I don't like wasting time, like I said. So I just do a different machine, and it's really whatever really, because, you know, I'll get to the machine eventually, and, you know, I will of course try my best to stimulate my muscles as much as possible. So yeah, then after this did adductors, you know, trying to build those stabilizer muscles for squats and yeah, essentially thicken out the quads. And yeah, well, I wouldn't say it thickens out the quads, it thickens out the upper the femurs muscles, which is basically hamstring, adductor and quad. So basically all the meaty bit at the top, avoiding calves, which of course, because they're on a different bone and stuff. And also I don't train them because in a weird way I do train them indirectly, because when it comes to hamstring curls, I do feel like my you know, calves are getting involved in order to lift more weight, which you know, it does something, because I think I've got pretty decent, you know, calves. I mean, I can see them, they're bulging out, I can feel them, you know, and I haven't trained calves in probably 2 years or something, can't remember, but I haven't trained calves in a while and they're still there. So but anyway, back onto tempo bench, just doing a bit more this time, because I felt like the first session was quite easy, you know, and I was like, I need to push myself a bit. I really need to, you know, get that stimulus to my, you know, brain that I'm big and strong. So essentially ending the 2 rep series with 110 and 100, you know, fairly easy yet again, you know, not much struggle. I mean, you can see more of my you know, butt movement, if you want to call it that. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, lift my butt off the bench anymore, which is always good. And you see me set up a bit differently to where I was originally, and yeah, I feel like it's a good progression on the, you know, bench front. Like, simply adding a little form change and all this, you know, little improvements enable me to literally, you know, lift more, but also do it more safely and be able to do this for longer, which is always a great sign of you know, a progressive lifter, a man who you know, wants to learn and, you know, stuff like that, have that student mindset or whatever the fuck they say. But anyway, chest flies like usual, you know, just trying to stimulate the chest, because I do find I have a bit of a bird chest, and I don't mean that in a woman's way, I mean that in literally, you know, I don't really have much of a chest in comparison to the rest of my muscles, which I'm trying to like figure out what's the best for me, and I do feel like they're growing a bit, which you'll see. I do like upper chest eventually, and it's I believe like a couple seconds you'll see me do like a bit of upper chest to try and test if that works or not. which technically the upper chest is incredibly small, but I'm trying to align my chest muscles to the ones that are like more impacted by like flies, which is like this sort of like central, chest muscles and stuff. But I tried with the upper bit. I felt it more in my shoulders, if I'm being honest. But that's the problem with me, because I tend to feel a lot in my shoulders. Because my shoulders appear to be the more dominant muscle group in my body. Even with like exercises you wouldn't expect me to feel my shoulders in, like some back exercises, I genuinely feel my shoulders, which might explain their, the overarching appearance in my physique, because they're very dominant, and they can be a bit of a pain in the ass to grow other muscles, but I'm trying my best, and hopefully that's all that really needs to be done. But anyway, shoulders, lateral raises, like usual. I won't really talk for this bit because it's fairly simple, doing some cable Y raises, and then last set will be like a drop set, just to add that bit more intensity, because intensity is very important when it comes to muscle growth. You're supposed to fatigue the muscle, and therefore it creates little micro tears and blah 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 blah. Science. Bigger is better, whatever the fuck that guy says. But yeah, not really much to say in terms of this. Like, when it comes to shoulders, it's pretty simple. If you lack a certain part, even though you indirectly do your shoulders anyway, I do find with like shoulder press, you do activate a lot more of your side delt than you think. So, it's always great to add certain things into your program or whatever, or into your training split or whatever. But yeah, I'll end my voice here. After all, it is, triceps, back, doing basically the regular stuff like tricep push down, got lat pull down, lat pull over. Got shrugs instead because people were taking forever. But then preach curls, hammer curls, then a bit of forearm curls, and then posing. It's the regular stuff, so enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you.